What's going on, guys? Welcome to another Fired Up Friday. We got a good one today. We're going to make homemade spaghetti. Venison homemade spaghetti. Actually got some venison out defrosted from what I first deer here on Come On Mountain. And how I ended up with doing the homemade spaghetti instead of just pouring that out of a jar is I thought I had what I needed with the jar. You know, some of that ragu come out. I didn't have no ragu. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to make some homemade spaghetti. So let's give this a shot and I'll let you know how it turns out. Let's do it. All right, the ingredients that we're going to use today is we're going to use a little bit of venison, about 1 pound. We're going to use some mushroom pieces, a medium sweet onion, a thing of tomato paste, 6 ounces. We're going to go ahead and use about 15 ounces of this sauce right here, that tomato sauce. And then I'm going to go ahead and add about 14.5 ounces of diced tomatoes. The recipe don't normally really call for that, but I like to add it anyway. Some of that fresh black pepper. I'm also going to throw in some of these diced green chilies. Hot! Because y'all know I like it spicy. Come on. We're also going to put a little bit of that crushed red pepper in there. We're going to put some parsley flakes in there. Some basil leaves in there. Some of that there Italian seasoning and salt. Salt. And you know you got to have the Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Alright guys, basically all of this is going to turn into spaghetti. Now I do my spaghetti a little bit different. A lot of people use spaghetti noodles. Yeah, I'm not that guy. Spaghetti noodles actually try to take me out of this world. I have choked on spaghetti noodles before because for some reason the old choppers doesn't chew them up like it should. Don't know why. I guess I got some of them dull teeth. But I have found that these bow tie spaghetti noodles right here work amazing and keeps me from choking here on the mountain. So that's always a good thing. All right, we're going to start with getting the venison cooked up. So we're going to go ahead and get the venison in the pan and go ahead and chop up about a whole medium sweet onion and throw in there and kind of cook it all together. I might go ahead and add a little black pepper and a little bit of salt to the meat. That's about all that I'm going to add to the meat because I pre-seasoned it whenever I actually processed the deer. All right, so let's get that started and then we'll start working on that sauce. We're going to put our little skillet right here on high because this little hot plate thing that I got right here, it's high, but you know, I wouldn't write home about it if you know what I mean. Put that in there. You can do it. Behind the scenes here, we're going to go ahead and cup up one of these onions. That knife right there is dull is what's happening. We're not using it. How about we go with the fancy knife? Let me move this out the way so y'all can see this part real quick. That's better. Now you can chop the onions up however you want, thicker, smaller. I actually like a little bit bigger of a chop. So I'm going to do a little bit bigger. Like I said, I want bigger chunks. I actually like in my spaghetti a little bit bigger chunks of onion. Alright, and we're going to put the whole onion just about. That one's a little bit larger than a medium onion, so I'm not going to quite use it all. I'll save some of it for omelets in the morning. Come on! Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and brown the meat. Saute it up a little bit of saute. Now while this is starting to cook, we will go ahead and start getting our sauce cooking, because the longer that you cook this sauce, the better it's going to taste. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put the 15 ounces of tomato sauce in the pan. Ta-da. Then we will put the diced tomatoes. And if you got a big old family, you got one of them big families with all kinds of children and whatnot, you can just kind of triple and double and do whatever you need to make this recipe a little bit bigger. But this right here will serve about 5 people. You get the little tomato paste happening. And also, if any of these ingredients I'm using you don't like, don't use it. It's the great thing about cooking, guys. You can add whatever you like to your flavor. Because what might be my jam might not be your jam. This recipe also calls for a cup of water. Now, I typically don't always use a whole cup because I like a thicker spaghetti sauce. I don't like the runny down sauce where you got a whole bunch of like water and stuff at the base of your plate with your noodles. I like it to be thick and hearty. So does Domino. Y'all can't see Domino right now, but you know he's watching. You know he's watching. All right, the next thing we're gonna add is the mushrooms. Again, if you don't like a mushrooms, you don't have to put mushrooms. Now, I can't wait to get my garden going and my raised beds, so I can actually make all of this from the vegetables out of my garden. That's going to be really cool. And also, like with the mushrooms, you got a little bit of water in there. You steady add a little bit of water every time you add all of this stuff in there, so no need to put a whole lot of water. So the salt and pepper is going to be to your taste. I don't typically use a whole lot of salt in my cooking because a lot of the seasonings already got salt in it, but I love me some pepper. Pepper, pepper. So we're going to put a little bit of that, then we'll go ahead and put a little bit of pepper over here in the meat while it's sauteing down there. Add a little bit of the salt. Now we got to get our little spoons out. Now it's about to get scientific up in here. We're going to use 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Now, being that I added a little bit more than that in there, we're going to use a little bit more than that. We're going to use a whole teaspoon. And you sprinkle it in. A teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, not only am I going to use garlic powder, but I'm actually going to put some fresh garlic in the meat as it cooks down over here very shortly. Now we need a tablespoon of the Worcestershire. Do this over your pot, guys. Ask me how I know. One of the best mispronounced ingredients you can use. Worcestershire. Okay, now crushed red pepper, just to taste. I'm not going to use very much of this because I'm going to use those green chilies also. So I'll just put a little bit in there. Then we'll go ahead and put the chilies in. Now, one thing I love growing in my garden is hot peppers. So I cannot wait to have some fresh hot peppers, different kinds, here on the mountain. Now that smells spicy. Now I'm not going to put the whole can in here because it will light you up. I'm going to use about 1/2 can of the little diced green chilies. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and chop up a fresh piece of garlic in the actual meat. Go ahead and add that in. Can't go wrong with some fresh garlic. Can't wait to grow that as well. Alright, we're getting to the end of the ingredients. We're going to put a little bit of parsley flakes in here. We're going to go 1 tablespoon of parsley flakes. And typically you would put this basil on at the end, like fresh leaves and stuff, but I'm actually going to put it in before because I don't have fresh leaves. And you can kind of do that by taste as well. There you go. And there's one more ingredient that you need to kind of cut down the bitterness of all that tomato. We're going to add a little sugar. A little sugar. And we're going to add a tablespoon of that. Just a tablespoon. There we go. And I believe that's got all of our ingredients in there. Our meat is cooking down really nice. Now I went ahead and turned the heat on. I went ahead and put the heat on high on here as well. Like I said, these little hot plates ain't the best in the world. Smells amazing. Alright, now that we got all the meat browned, we're going to go ahead and add that into the sauce with the onions and the garlic. Kind of fold it in. Look how thick and chunky and meaty that is, guys. Alright, we're going to let that cook, come to a slow roll, and then I'll cover it and reduce the heat a little bit and let it kind of cook on like low for about 30 minutes, somewhere around there. You can cook it longer. Like I said, in my opinion, the longer you cook it, the better it tastes. Just make sure you don't burn it. And I'll bring y'all back when it's time to do the noodles. Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and do the bow tie. I went ahead and put about 2 quarts of water in here. I'm only gonna do half this box. And it says 4 quarts of water to a rolling boil. Then add pasta and boil for about 12 to 14 minutes. Alright guys, it takes forever for water to boil on one of these little hot plates. But that's going to have to be good enough. I added a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt to the water. Like I said, I'm only going to do about half a box. We'll bring that to a boil. Alright, let's take a look at the sauce. Give it a stir. Look at this, guys. Look how meaty and chunky that sauce is. I love it. It's not all watered down. Three hours later. We're boiling, guys. We're boiling. I went ahead and took a shower and got all cleaned up while I was waiting on this, because man, these hot plates, they are not good. It is like booyah, come on. But what we're gonna do is go ahead and strain the noodles out, get some Texas toast into the convection oven right there, and we're ready to plate and eat. Put a little bit of Parmesan on the top of it, a little Parmesan. All right guys, let me shut this off. Let the bubbles settle down. Settle down, bubble. Watch this. It's magic. Alright, strained them. Never rinse your noodles, guys. Don't be a noodle rinser. Don't do it. You will really, really upset some people over there in old Italy. They'll be like, I cannot believe that you rinsed your noodles. Don't rinse your noodles. That's almost as bad as boiling a rib. Come on. All right, guys. I want y'all to check out this homemade Texas toast that I made. 5 cheese, guys. 5 cheese. I slaved in the kitchen. Slaved. Had to go all the way 3 towns through snow, uphill both ways, just to get a bread maker. Just to get the bread made, and that's not even counting what I went through with the cheese. You don't even want to know what I had to do for the cheese. Check this out, guys. Boom! That's right. Went all the way to Clover Valley. And we're going to use their Texas toast tonight. Because ain't nobody got time for all that. Come on. Alright, guys. I just got the Texas toast into my brick oven. As you can see, the convection kind makes a darn good bread, let me tell you. Cool thing about this is, guys, now that I did all the work, 5 to 8 minutes, it's ready to go. Ready to go. Oh, look at there. That's why. 425 degrees. You got to get that junk cooking. Cooking. Let's level up. It took a while to stoke that fire in that brick oven, but I think we finally got up to 425, guys. All right, guys, that homemade bread is finally done. Turned out really, really nice, and I believe all the food is ready. So let's check it out in its natural habitat. Ooh, look at that. Amazing. And of course, you have the bow tie noodles. Let's go ahead and plate up, see what it looks like, and see what it tastes like. All right, let's start with some noodles on the plate. Now let's get a little bit of that sauce. I wish you had smell-o-vision, guys. It smells so good. All right, now we're gonna take a couple of pieces of the bread here. Now, while I was on the run making that homemade bread, when I was collecting all those 5 cheeses, I also collected some fresh shredded Parmesan from the Clover Valley. So we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of that on there. Oh, we're on to something now, guys. We're on to something now. There's only one way to tell if it was a big waste of time, and that is to give it a try. So let's do that. Dun dun dun. It's the moment of truth. A little bit of venison spaghetti. I love it when a plan comes together. Come on. I hope y'all enjoyed this one, guys. It was an amazing little cook. Taking some seasonings and stuff that I got around here in the 952 cans of tomato paste and sauce and chopped up tomatoes and all that I got, because every time I go to the store, I'm like, yeah, I want to make spaghetti. I need to get all of the stuff, and then I get home and realize that I have all the stuff except for the actual ragu, which kind of is how we ended up here tonight. But turned out good. It's really, really good. I wish that all the vegetables came from here off Come On Mountain, coming soon this spring, hopefully. But at least the protein that is in this spaghetti came off Come On Mountain from out in the outback with me doing a little bit of hunting. But I love every single one of you guys, but always, and I do mean always, keep it fired up. Come on.